So you bought your single-speed road bike. It came in a box a lot like this, and you took the bike out of the box. So now you have the bike nice and packaged up. Make sure you have your parts box. Do an inventory. Your seat is there. Doesn't seem to be any major damage, which is good. So I'm gonna open up this box right here. Alright, so first what you gotta do is obviously cut the packaging off. So I'm gonna get started with that right now, and we'll get it onto the bike stand to set it up. Let's go. Okay, so I got all the packaging off. Looks great. There's no scratches or anything. The wheels were perfect. I'm going to put it on my bike stand right now so I can easily set it up, but if you don't have a bike stand, this stuff is pretty easy to do on the floor too. Okay? Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is set up the handlebars. So as you can see, they come just kind of dangling off there. What you got to do is get them in the proper position where the brake cords are going to be out of the way. Looks like that should be about right there. Maybe not that. So the brake cords now are on the front, on the outside, and the handlebars will stick in just fine. So I'm going to loosen up the headset. It looks like maybe a 5 or a 6 millimeter Allen key will do it, so I'm going to figure that out right now. Looks like a 5 millimeter Allen key will do the job, so I'm going to loosen these bolts and take off the headset. Take the bolts off, and look what I found. There's a lot of grease on these bolts, so it's great. Vilano does a really good job of greasing up their bolts nicely here. What I'm going to do is install the handlebars. Okay, to install the handlebars, you just need to put them into place and put the stem clamp back on. What I'm going to do though on the stem clamp is kind of let the handlebars just sort of sway, let the gravity naturally take it, and put the clamp on while it's like that, so it's easiest for us. Okay, let's get started with that. So we put the handlebars on, we put each bolt in and tighten it down, so the handlebars are pretty much into the right position now. We're going to move on to the next step for me, which is the seat. So in order to do the seat, take any kind of packaging material that's on there out. Looks like there's a little cap or something like that. We're going to toss that aside. We got a seat clamp. Let's grab the seat. Okay, looks like we got a good seat here. Nice comfy looking saddle. So let's put it into the hole and hopefully it just slides. Oh, there you go. Slides right into there. Let's put it close to the bottom for now. And no worries, we'll adjust that later. Okay, so it looks like the seat's all good to go. Now before we do the front wheel, I would like to do the pedals because it's easier when it's on the bike stand. So let's get to the pedals. Alright, so grab your package of pedals. You should be able to distinguish the right from the left just by looking at the end of the spindle. As you can see, the bottom one here shows L, the top one shows R. We're going to put those on the right and left side, obviously. And let's get started with that. Okay, this is the right pedal, as you can see from the R. Before we get started, I want to put some grease or lube on the end of the spindle there, on the thread, so that it goes in nice and clean. I have this great little lubricant by Finish Line, it's a dry lithium grease, which works fine. If you have a tub of grease, it's actually much better because it's a thicker lube, but I don't have that right now, so we're going to use this this lube. Okay. First, put the pedal on. Just barely find the position and finger tighten it down. Looks like I found the hole. If you go and it stops and it's hard to push, don't push any farther. Just reverse out and reinsert the spindle there. Now, okay, so the threads are going in fine, so I'll just put it down as far as I can by finger tightening it. Sometimes it'll even go all the way to the bottom, which it looks like it is with this one. Once you get close to the bottom, your finger won't fit anymore, so just take a 15 millimeter wrench and finish the job. Just put it on there and put it in a position where you can get some mechanical inclination. And just torque it enough just so it gets enough of a tight fit, but not too much. Okay, great. So let's do the left side. Okay, again, same thing for the left. We have the left spindle here. You can tell by the L on the end of it. And I'm going to use some dry Teflon lube because I don't have a tub of grease. If you have grease, it's much better, but let's just take care of it now. I'll put it on the end of the spindle and we'll insert it into the left-hand crank arm. Okay, so the left-hand side goes on counterclockwise, but if you're working from the right side of the bike, like I am, as you can see, you can actually turn it clockwise from your orientation, and it will go in. But make sure you get this right, because if you go the opposite way, there is a chance you will de-thread the crank arm, and crank arms are not covered under the manufacturer's warranty, so you won't be able to get a replacement. You'll have to go to a bike shop, have them replace the crank arm, and do the service on it too, because it's pretty tough to do it yourself if you're not a mechanic. Anyway, let's get back to this. So just finger tighten it all the way down until you're at the edge of it, and grab your 15mm Allen wrench again. Okay, insert it into the proper position and get some mechanical inclination by pulling the crank arm back. Put your leg maybe on the other side and just torque it down until you feel it won't go anymore. Okay, that should be fine. Great, so far we've done the handlebars, we've done the seat, we've done the pedals. Looks like the last thing to do, almost the last thing to do, is put on that front wheel. So let's get started with that. Okay, so I took the bike off the stand to put the wheel on the bike. I've got to loosen up the axle washers here and put the wheel on the bike. So let's go ahead and do that. Put the front wheel on. Looking from the vertical position, I've still got a lot out of alignment, but that's okay. We're gonna go through and adjust everything right now. So first I want to tighten down the bolt onto the fork here, and then we're gonna do the brakes next, and then we're gonna straighten out this headset. Okay, let's get going. Alright, so it looks like the brakes could definitely use some adjustment here. They're pretty much just too far off the wheel right now. So in order to do that, I've got to clamp them down with my hand. I'm going to release this little screw right here, pull the cord tight as I possibly can, clamp together, and then re-tighten it onto the cord. So it's a little farther up the cord than it was, maybe a centimeter or two. And that way the brakes will be closer to the wheel, so that when you pull down on the brake lever, it'll catch about right there, and then you'll be squeezing it. But right now it's just not enough. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, for the brakes, you will need an 8mm wrench, and that will properly adjust the little screw position, screw unit here you need to move the lever with. Okay, to adjust the brakes even further so that the wheel goes completely smooth, we are going to use a 10mm wrench and tighten the unit that holds the brake caliper into the headset or the fork of the bicycle. Pads aren't quite lining up with the wheel of the bicycle, as you can see. I'm going to use a 10mm wrench and loosen up and then retighten them so that they're perfectly in place. In order to do this properly, you'll want to first hold onto the brake lever of the bicycle with your left hand. As you're putting it into position, you'll need two hands for this. Brakes are adjusted. I'm going to give it a test spin and stop. Perfect. Okay, so the brakes are good there. Let's move on to adjusting the back brakes. Looks like the pad there is actually perfectly on the wall already, and the pad there is also perfectly on the wall. Give it a test spin. Looks like it's rubbing a little bit on the brake caliper there, so I'll give it a little nudge back and forth. Okay, let's adjust the brakes. This bike does come with a Presta valve, and what that means is that it's a European style valve where you have to unscrew the cap and then unscrew the end of the Presta valve. Pop on, you'll hear air come out. Get a bike pump that has a Presta valve and Schrader valve in one, or you can buy the Presta valve adapter and use that. These bike tires go up to about 100-110 psi, 120 max. But keep it around 110, you'll be safe on the streets. So pump up your tires and you'll be ready to ride. Cool. In order to get the handlebars straight, you will need a 5mm Allen key. Go ahead and loosen the headset first so you can swing it around a little bit. And the stem to be properly seated, because as you can see here, it's a little bit off center. We need to get a 5mm Allen key set. This one's already loosened. We'll want to tighten this one up, or loosen this one up. And once that's done, we can make sure the handlebar is in the right position. And once it's completely straight, it's not left, it's not right, but completely straight with the wheel and the frame, we can tighten it back down and ready to go. Looks like the bike is fully assembled and ready to ride. This is exciting. It's a great road bike. It only costs $199 at roadbikecity.com. Go check it out today. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. Please like the video and subscribe to our channel. And have fun out there riding. See you guys later.